Herman Deal, the real deal here. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, can sunglasses cause problems when you're getting sun? Meaning that maybe your body is not reacting properly to the sun and protecting your skin because you're blocking the sun from getting into your eyes. And your eyes are communicating with your brain. Well, duh, we know that. See, this is where there is a disparity between common sense or what's logical and then what some experts tell us. Okay. So most eye doctors, probably 90% in the United States, will tell you that's a bunch of bullshit. Wear your sunglasses because if you don't, you could hurt your eyes and you could get cancer in the eyes, glaucoma, whatever. Okay, fine. But there's a few eye doctors who have done extensive research and have come to the conclusion that, wait, hold on, there is some reality to this. Okay, there is some reality to the idea that if you're blocking the sun from getting into your eyes, your body will respond a certain way. There is some reality to that. And I had to go beyond ChatGPT. I had to do my own research because ChatGPT tells me, oh, there is no evidence. All doctors say there is no evidence. Like, this is what ChatGPT told me. There is no evidence that sunlight is going to make the body react and protect you less from the sun. That's what ChatGPT told me. Okay, I had to go above and beyond that, looking up YouTube, lots of research, and then I found a few doctors who actually freaking agree that there is evidence. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't wear sunglasses. Okay, and most of these doctors, and I also agree. I'm not saying don't wear sunglasses. I'm just saying that let's approach it in a common sense way. Let's make sense. And for me, when I first heard this, that, for me, because I have my background where I was a chiropractor and the chiropractic philosophy, we have an innate intelligence that adapts us to the environment, that basically wants us to survive, at least until we have sex, okay? Because I spoke about that in a previous video, that's the number one law of longevity. We have an innate intelligence in our body that wants us to survive minimally to the point where we can reproduce and have sex and give offspring. That's the evolutionary drive that we have in common with all living things in the planet. That's why there are some octopuses and spiders and fish that will literally die after they have sex and reproduce. So we are meant to survive, to have sex, so we can reproduce. And that is what the innate intelligence is concerned about. The innate intelligence does not care whether you live to be 75 years old or 100. It wants you to have sex and reproduce so that so humanity continues. Okay, that's the real purpose of innate intelligence. But in that process, it's smart. It's super intelligent, very, very intelligent. So to me, it just makes sense. If you block the eyes, you are blocking something from your external environment. From a purely philosophical standpoint, this makes total sense to me. And it makes total sense to me that, yeah, there's going to be some effect. We may not know what it is, but in all likelihood, yeah, if you're blocking the sun from entering your eyes, then yeah, maybe your body is not going to protect itself as well from the sun because you're blocking information. Like, that just makes total common sense for me, despite the fact that eye doctors say it's a bunch of BS. Most of them do. But the few that have done the right research, like the doctor I'm about to talk about now, actually agree with me. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you some very interesting information here. And having gone to chiropractic school, I always got exposed to quotes like this. It laid a foundation for my thinking. A specialist is a man who knows more and more about less and less. And yes, that is William J. Mayo, the same guy, along with his brother, who created the famous Mayo Clinic. So even he agreed that, it's like you're studying a leaf and you can't separate the forest from the trees. We have to look at the body as a whole picture, as one huge interconnected system, not just as an isolation or an island by itself. Here's another quote by Mayo. Given one well-trained physician of the highest type, and he will do better work for 1,000 people than 10 specialists. Yeah, Dr. Mayo wasn't a big fan of specialists because you learn more and more about one thing, and then you can't see the forest from the trees, and you don't see the whole picture. And that is a problem. And that's how we reach certain conclusions about health and wellness that is extremely limited, which is why if eye doctors say that, oh, you have to wear sunglasses, and if you don't, it's always bad. Nah, I don't necessarily agree with that. You're still blocking something. You're blocking the innate intelligence from realizing that, hey, there's sunlight coming in. We need to protect ourselves. So this is where my thinking comes from. And now I'm going to show you one doctor, and there's more than one, that pretty much agrees with that line of thinking. One of them is Dr. Joseph Allen. He's an optometrist, and he admits at first he thought it was absolutely ridiculous. These online influencers going on saying that, we shouldn't wear sunglasses because the body can't react properly and protect itself from the sun. He thought it was absolutely ridiculous. But then he dug into the research and he had to look beyond the eye journals. He had to look at other types of journals, dermatology, biology, and he actually found that there is evidence supporting the idea that if your eye doesn't get the memo that there's sunlight, then your body will react a different way. There is evidence supporting this. This is not a made up idea. And then during his research, he discovered Dr. Alexis Cohen. She is a PhD doctor away from the eye doctor medicine uh, from industry, and she says that yes, sunlight, if you block your eyes, it's going to have an effect. And she's a PhD, and she showed the research from PubMed. Okay, here you can see it. And let's take a closer look. Look at the highlighted portion. Ultraviolet B radiation of the eye activates nitric oxide, dependent hypothalamo-pituitary propionepalinocortin pathway, and modulates function of alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone responsive cells. This here now is proof. Melanocyte, those are the cells that protect you from sunlight. Melanocytes tend to make the skin darker, which is why people who have darker skin can tolerate and actually need the sun more in order to synthesize vitamin D. Lighter skinned people have less melanocyte, which is why they have lighter skin, and they can't tolerate the sun as much, and they extract more vitamin D from just a little bit of sunlight. But this here is basic proof that, hey, no, these people are not crazy. These influencers saying that sunglasses, not does this still mean that we should never wear sunglasses? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. But what it means is that it's not a made up idea. There is truth to this. And what this shows is that, yes, my theory, because of my beliefs that we have an innate intelligence, that, yeah, it only makes sense if the eyes are blocked and then the eyes are not getting the actual effect of the sunlight because you're wearing sunglasses, then the body will respond accordingly. Yes, this actually happened. And then here is ChatGPT. It produced 3 other articles and research that shows that indicates that possibly wearing sunglasses can have an effect on the rest of the body. And it kind of irritates me because ChatGPT here is just kissing my freaking ass. It's just stucking up to me because I put in, well, hey, ChatGPT, what about this doctor and that doctor? What about them? I told ChatGPT about the 2 other doctors, and then ChatGPT says, well, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, there is some research. Okay, yeah, I'm just not going to give you the standard thing that the eye doctors want me to say. Okay, here's the research.
And it's like, why, chat? Why did you wait to tell me this? But this is why you can't trust ChatGPT 100%. And sometimes you need to do deeper research.
Yeah, it's funny with ChatGPT. And I'm gonna read you something else that ChatGPT tells me to sum it up. ChatGPT is such an ass kisser. It really, really is. It just at first it was telling me one thing, then I show proof how it goes against that, and now it gives me more evidence supporting me and just kissing my ass. But it's okay because it's still useful information for me. ChatGPT gave me this. I'm going to read it out loud because ChatGPT says, and then you can go directly into the chiropractic whole body theme and make me look good, right? And hey, look, I'm the real deal. When I use ChatGPT, I let you know. And all my subconscious fat newsletters, I put in the bottom there, ChatGPT helped enhance this. But I'm also being real. ChatGPT helps me, and sometimes it doesn't. But here's what it says. We keep studying the body as if the eye belongs to the eye doctor. The skin belongs to the dermatologist. The hormones belong to the endocrinologist. But your body never got the memo. Your eye talks to your brain. Your brain talks to your pituitary. Your pituitary talks to your skin. That's not philosophy. That's physiology. Yep, it's a beautiful quote that ChatGPT gave me there. I agree with it, but I also say back, well, it is philosophy. Like it is philosophy that makes me think that yeah, there's got to be something to this. It's the same philosophy that says that they come out with a GLP-1 drug to make you lose weight, and I'm like, I immediately know there's going to be side effects. Like I know that automatically. Like it's a done deal. Like, of course, there's going to be side effects. And then reality shows that, yes, there are side effects. You have a huge amount of muscle loss. When you mess with Mother Nature, there's always a price to pay. And the reality is that as humans, we have evolved for thousands of years without sunglasses. Sunglasses became popular for airline pilots because then yeah, you really need it. Look, when I drive, I wear my sunglasses because I don't want the glare to make me crash. If you're an airline pilot, you need sunglasses. Now, when I'm outside, do I wear sunglasses sometimes, especially in my workout videos? I'll admit I do because I kind of look cooler with the sunglasses, so I'll wear them often, okay? But the reality is I interchange it. I take them off. I'll often be outside with my hat. I want to protect my face. I want to get the sunlight on my skin, but I don't want the negative side effect of the sunlight causing wrinkles. So I wear a hat to protect my face, but I want the sunlight on my body. Same with sunglasses. If I'm feeling glare, if the sunlight's bothering me, I'll wear my sunglasses. If it's not, but even when I do wear them, I'll take them off for a little bit, let my body react, let my eyes realize that there is sunlight. I'm surrounded by sunlight so the body can do what it knows to do when you're in that environment because you have an innate intelligence. And this is the practical, smart way of doing it. You know that your body's smart. So do what's best for the body. And, wear the sunglasses when you drive. If you're flying as a pilot, wear them. And sometimes when you're outside, when your eyes bother you, wear the sunglasses. So I do use sunglasses, just not all the freaking time. In any case, I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you for watching this edition of Subconscious Fat. I will be back on Thursday with Mr. Skeptical in the written format. We have another podcast coming out this Friday, and I'll be back next Monday again with another video. Thank you for watching. Bye.